So today, we talking about your boy Elvis. Goddamn. Oh wait, I mean, Elvis. Goddamn it. Yes, we're talking about the new Elvis movie that just came out, or it's coming out. I don't know when you guys are gonna see this video, but I went to an early screening for it. Like I said, for the new Elvis Presley movie, or just titled Elvis, and it goes over the life of not just Elvis, but a big component in Elvis' life was also it goes over his manager and how his manager was taking advantage of him. And I know that there's been a lot of circulations and people talking about how did Elvis actually die? Was it because he just had food poisoning or something? Somebody would tell me something like that, or was it because his managers just worked him to goddamn death? Well, we'll talk about that all today. This is a spoiler review. I mean, we're talking about Elvis, so I mean, if you really know about Elvis's life like that, this nothing really here is spoilers, I guess. But for someone that doesn't know too much about Elvis, like I did, for like me, I think this is. I'll say this movie really gave me something to look up afterwards. Like after the movie, I was looking up a lot of stuff about his manager. I was looking up a lot of stuff about Elvis Presley himself and the life that he was living and how he had to continuously work himself to death pretty much because of the fact that his manager kind of screwed him over. So we'll talk about all that stuff in today's video. Now, first thing I want to say about this goddamn movie, like I said, it's full spoiler review. But be wary. Be goddamn wary. This movie for Elvis is 2 hours and 40 minutes. Y'all hear me? 2 hours and 40 minutes. That, I'm sorry, is way too goddamn long of a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially because if you see this movie, there's a lot of stuff they skip around. Like they skipped around a lot in this movie. You're at a certain point and it's like, oh, Elvis has a child now. Oh, Elvis has a wife now. And it's just like they're skipping around a lot. It's not like a regular documentary or a regular movie on someone where they'll kind of just like go in order. This movie really just skips around. And I remember in the theater yesterday watching it, and I'm like, this movie is skipping around so much, but it's like, how the hell, if you skip around this goddamn much, is this movie 2 hours and 40 minutes? Like, this doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And what happens when they skip around a lot is that a lot of characters become underdeveloped, but maybe that was the point that they were trying to go for, because there's only two main really characters here. It's just Elvis and his manager, but other than that, everybody else, like the wife, the daughter, you see the daughter in one scene, right? And it's like those people to me are just completely underdeveloped. So, but like I said, maybe that's what they were actually trying to go for. Who knows? But you know what I want to talk about today? I want to talk about somebody, man. I want to talk about one particular character, and he's pretty much the main character here. I know they say Elvis. This is an Elvis movie, right? But if we're being, and I'll talk about him, the guy that played Elvis, Austin Butler, in a little bit. But if we're being completely honest, man, this is not an Elvis movie. This is not like straight on Elvis. This movie main character is Tom Hanks. And he's playing a guy named Tom Parker, which was Elvis's manager in the movie. And we're pretty much going through a POV of Tom Parker, aka Tom Hanks, in the movie. And this dude Tom Hanks has this accent in this movie, and I swear I was in the theater laughing my ass off. Like when you hear the accent around that this man has in the movie, bruh, it be having me dying, bruh. Because half the time I'm like, bruh, they gotta put up some subtitles because I don't know what the hell he's saying. And then there's sometimes it's like, okay, I kind of understand what he's saying, but it's like, nah, we still need some subtitles here. But I think Tom Hanks as an actor in this movie, I think he delivered. I feel like, and I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, and count me out if I'm lying or not. But 90% of the movie, when it comes to Tom Hanks in this movie, in this role, 90% of the movie, his facial expressions are like this. Like he just has these confused and shocked facial expressions throughout the entire movie, and he's the most hilarious thing. But like I said, I think Tom Hanks in the role of Tom Parker, I think he did a really phenomenal job. And like I said, I think Tom Hanks is the main your main person here because we're really going through his life. He's kind of describing like, oh no, people say I killed Elvis, but I didn't. It even the movie starts out with him saying, yeah, I'm not the one that killed Elvis, and stuff like that. So, which I think that's a really good point that you see this movie and you're actually able to debate that. Was it this guy Tom Parker's fault for killing Elvis, or was it something else? But this movie, like I said, spoiler review. This movie pretty much puts the blame on Tom Parker, pretty much. But they're pretty much saying, yeah, it was Tom Parker's fault that Elvis died. They in the movie they go through and they're like, yeah, there's a certain point where Elvis is on the floor, and Tom Parker's like, I don't care. Y'all make sure that boy gets on that stage tonight. Barely can even stand up, but Tom Parker's like, no. You make sure he can get on that stage tonight and perform for these people. And he did that because of the fact that he was in a gambling debt with the casino. And I wish they would have gone deeper into that. I'm like, you have a 2 hours and 40-minute movie, but I feel like they didn't go deep on anything. I'm like, they kind of just in this movie they kind of just hint at things. Like they just talk about, oh yeah, he had a gambling addiction. Oh yeah, Elvis was on these pills, right? But they kind of just talk about it for a split second, and then they kind of just brush over it. And I'm like, no, stay there. Let's talk about this pill addiction he had for a little bit. Let's talk about Tom Hanks' gambling addiction, or Tom Parker's gambling addiction for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why are they skipping over certain things like that? I mean, like I said, they show it, but they don't go too deep onto it, and I think that's a really thing they missed that, man. I think they missed that in the movie. It's not enough just to say, oh, he had a gambling addiction, and we'll show you a scene where he's at a casino. I want to physically see that he keeps going back to the casino, keeps losing more money, and that people are just like, no, because they kind of showcase it, but it's not like what it should be. Like, I really wish they would have showcased more on the gambling addiction thing with Tom Parker. Because the only reason why you really know about it is because of the fact that, like, Elvis is performing at this casino, right, in Vegas. And people are like, yo, if you keep Elvis coming back here for the next couple of years, we'll pay off your gambling debts. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of just how you really know about it. But they don't really go too deep into it. And they even tell that Tom Parker is like a fake guy. He's not even from around here and stuff like that. So I really would say it would have went deeper onto that stuff, but they kind of didn't. But let me go ahead and talk about another character, man. And this was, you know what I'm saying? I think this dude did such a great job, and I gotta say this, man. Austin Butler Austin Butler, aka Elvis Presley in the movie. I think he did such a phenomenal job playing Elvis Presley. I was born damn near in 2000, so I was born after Elvis Presley died, or before. No, after. I'm being stupid. After. So I didn't know too much about Elvis Presley, but watching this guy perform and even get how he talks, how Presley talks, and he gets all that stuff knotted down. I think he did such a great job, man. Austin Butler, man. I think he did a phenomenal job in the movie as capturing Elvis, especially people that don't know too much about Elvis. I think he did a phenomenal job at capturing him. So kudos to him. I would say if you're a huge fan of Elvis, shoot, go see it for how this guy puts on the performance of Elvis, man. I would say, dude, this dude, you could tell he was solely into the role, so I would say, like, if you need to, yeah, just go see the movie. If you're a huge Elvis fan, just go see the movie just off the fact that how this dude plays, Austin Butler plays Elvis, man. I think that's such a great job with that. Another thing with this goddamn movie, this movie has a lot of transitions in this movie, right? It's a lot of transitions, and I liked some of them, but some of them are kind of getting on my last nerves. Now, the ones I liked were the ones that are like, we're kind of going through a camera lens, right? And then we just see Elvis performing or something like that. But we're going through a camera lens, or we're going through something that we can see Elvis performing, right? I think those transitions did really well. And there's even some transitions in some parts where it's like they talk about how Elvis was a big comic book fan. I think he was Captain Marvel, was a fan of Captain Marvel a lot. And they tell you, and they show these like color book things and stuff on the screen. It's like, oh, okay, that was for Elvis. I think they did a really good job at showcasing stuff like that in the movie. But there's just some transitions where I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm high watching this movie. Like the camera would just start spinning out of nowhere, and I'm like, bro, what the hell is going on? I was like, y'all can just make this so simple, but y'all are not. But it is what it is. Some people are gonna find it funny. Some people are gonna like it. Some people aren't gonna like it. Now, one thing I'll say about this movie, another thing I'll say is, if you are going to see this movie, I would say go see it how I saw it. Go see it in Dolby. Oh shoot, wrong one. Go see it in Dolby, man. Dolby is like AMC or something like that, but it's something where the speakers are enhanced, and because there's a lot of music, and I really did appreciate the soundtrack they had in here, and even the score they had in here. I really did appreciate both of those, but yes, I would say go see it on the not the biggest screen, but the biggest like sound, and like that's Dolby. I don't know what that is for like a Alamo Drafthouse or anything like that, or a Cinemark, but definitely a Dolby type of movie to go see, man. This movie, that's how I saw it in Dolby, and I was blown away seeing it in Dolby. Now, the big thing about this movie is that the first half of this movie does a really great job at capturing Elvis's life. It actually moved things on pretty quickly, and you're going from, oh, he's a child, boom, he grown up, oh, he meets Tom Parker, and so like, then it's really moving quickly. But then that second half of the film, the second half of the film kind of drags just a little bit, and that's where you get the long ass runtime. Because if you're looking at it from the beginning of the movie, right, and the way how it moves, you're like, how the hell is this getting to 2 hours and 40 minutes? And then that second half hits, and you're like, oh, that's how we're getting to 2 hours and 40 minutes. Because that second half, boy, does that second half take its sweet little time to get to where it needs to be going. Unlike the first half of the movie. But yeah, I'll just get this out of the way. Man, look, if you're like me and you don't know too much about Elvis, I think this is a really great opportunity to open your eyes to Elvis. I think this is a really great opportunity to see things you may not see, and talk about and see things you've never known about Elvis. Because like I said, me personally, I didn't know a damn thing about Elvis. What they did showcase in the movie is that Elvis was very, very influenced by black music and African American music, as I would say. So I think they did a really good job of showcasing that, because I have a good friend of mine that hates Elvis because of this crap right here. Because they kind of do showcase in the movie that, yeah, Elvis did steal black music pretty much. Because there's a part where he's peeking through a hole. He's a kid Elvis. And he's peeking through a hole with one of his friends, and some guy singing this song, and he completely steals it in the movie. So yeah, I could kind of see how people are mad at Elvis about that certain fact. But hey, me man, look, this movie did its job for me. I felt like after watching this movie, I did more research on Elvis, not only Elvis, but his manager, and that's what the movie's supposed to want me to do, right? So I think the movie did its job. I would say the movie's way too goddamn long. You could have cut at least 30 minutes of this movie, y'all. At least 30 minutes you could have cut. But hey, man, it is what it is. I'm giving this movie, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Just because I had low expectations for this movie. I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard about this movie, and when I first got my pass to go see this movie, I had very, very low expectations. I was just like, do I have to go see this type of thing? And then walking out of it, I was like, you know what? That wasn't too bad. I'm not mad that I was that I had to watch that movie. I'm not mad at all. So, yes, I'll give this movie an 8 out of 10, man. I would never see it again. I'll say that. This movie way too goddamn long to be seeing it again. So, but yeah, man, just take what I said. I think you guys will enjoy it, especially if you're Elvis fans. But hey, man, y'all first time finding my channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, the video. Tell me your thoughts, complaint, criticism. When you see the movie, tell me your thoughts, complaint, criticism. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.